So Wuthering Waves has a big issue at the moment, and well, it's not anything really to do with the game. As you know, every single month, Wuthering Waves and also a ton of other gacha games get involved in this big thing called the Gacha Revenue chart. Now, obviously, this is the Gacha Revenue chart. It's a big website which shows off all the revenue of every single gacha game coming out. Then you'll know that I don't really cover it whenever it comes out, just due to the kind of inaccuracy of the information. Now, is this Gacha Revenue's fault? No, not really. I do think there are some things that they could do to kind of clarify and add a disclaimer to a lot of the, information they're putting out. But overall, I still think it is a, alright indicator at, judging how good a game is actually doing. But for me, it just personally doesn't feel right, as it's literally just made up information. And well, there's been a big situation going on in the community recently involving some content creators and also just people in the comments surrounding the Gacha Revenue chart, and also a lot of stuff to do with the revenue of Wuthering Waves, which I just really wanted to talk about in this video, because again, this is something that I don't really talk about too much on this channel, and I just wanted to go over it and just kind of explain my point of view from this entire thing, and how this can actually change in the future. But before I get into this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy it, and also go to my Twitch where I'm going to be live. I definitely recommend going over there. It'll be down in the pinned comment down below or in the description. You can go there, follow me, and then you'll get notified as soon as I go live. So I definitely recommend going over there, as we're going to be covering a lot of Wuthering Waves and also gacha content. And yeah, I'll see you guys over there. But let's get back into the video. So this month's Gacha Revenue chart showed us that Wuthering Waves actually lost money by going down to 9.75 million, compared to that 11.5 million last month, which again, I don't think is a massive downfall or anything like that, but what a lot of players took this as was the end of Wuthering Waves, which I think is definitely blowing stuff way out of proportion, and it seems like a lot of people, especially who hate the game, just want to see it doing bad and will clutch at literally anything. Because if we've known from previous, Gacha Revenue charts and also just basic common sense, then you'll know that 9.75 million isn't bad. That is actually very good for a company, and also we're not even factoring in any other kind of, sources like PC sources or any other kind of, monetary sources which might not even involve the gacha system in the game. Which again, I think is a huge problem that's been going on in the community recently, and I've seen it a lot in my comment section. And not just in my comment section as well, it's also been in Twitter communities and also other people's comment sections, which have just been people saying, oh, I thought the game was dead, or the game is dead, or something like that. They're saying, oh, why are you still covering it? It's dead. Which I think is the most stupid thing ever. Now, obviously there is a lot of people out there who are just saying it as a joke, and I totally get that. Obviously, if you want to say, oh, Wuthering Waves is dead as a joke, I even do it. It's the funniest thing ever. But there is a lot of people out there who genuinely think the game is dying because it's making $9 million. Whereas if we look at some of the other stats on the board, a lot of these games are still surviving, including Snowbreak, Honkai Impact 3rd. All of these games are surviving on 3 million, let alone 9 million. And even if we keep going down, Brown Dust 2 on 1 million, that's still a pretty big game, and they're only making that much. I mean, people aren't really calling that one dead, but for some reason Wuthering Waves is dead because it's making 9. I just don't think that's the case. I think people need to be more realistic whenever it comes to the revenue. Obviously, we're not going to be making 52 million like Genshin Impact, unless, maybe they make a big update or something like that, or they add in a couple of new things which help to, boost the revenue. But for the time being, Wuthering Waves isn't going to be catching up to that, and I think that's what a lot of people need to understand. And obviously, there seems to be a big kind of hate wave coming over for this stuff, whether that's from, ex-Hoyoverse fans or even current Hoyoverse fans, or just people that want to, see the game fail, which I just don't think is very constructive at all, and it just kind of, hurts a lot of the community. Now, there was another factor that a lot of people brought up, which was the fact that, about Gacha Revenue's legitimacy and how accurate a lot of that information is, because if you go to the FAQ, you can actually see here that they're using a multiplier to actually get the Android revenue for China. So again, it is kind of bad that, they are just doing guesswork and kind of multiplying stuff just to get a number for a revenue chart, which again is something that I covered in one of my videos. It's called Wuthering Waves Revenue Numbers Were a Lie All Along. I covered this a month ago, and a lot of people saw it, a lot of people agreed with it. Obviously there was a couple of people that disagreed with it because again, they think that I'm coping or something like that. But the real truth is that there is this kind of guesswork being done in the Gacha Revenue chart, which I don't think is a bad thing for Gacha Revenue, to be honest. I think the Gacha Revenue can do that if they want, but the thing is, they do need to add some kind of disclaimer to the total revenue, especially on places like r/gacha gaming, who, let's just be real, they are so dumb that, they're going to take everything at face value and say that this is the real kind of revenue, when that isn't the case at all. So especially on places like that where this revenue chart gets shared, you definitely need some kind of disclaimer just at the top being like, hey, these are all kind of estimates, or these are, some of this is multiplied. just kind of giving people a rundown because not everyone goes into an FAQ. And I do understand that, some people, can just click 2 buttons and see that it's exactly there. But the matter of the fact is that nobody actually really does that. All they care about is the big flashy number that's on the screen. And if you've got something on the screen telling them, hey, just be careful, some of this is estimates, then I think it would be much better and much more people would be drawn to it. So that is a change that I'd want to see Gacha Revenue make. And maybe if they do that, I'll come back and actually start to make more content on it. I don't really know. Again, it is kind of interesting either way. But then obviously Saintontas also made a video on this, pretty much saying the same thing that I said in my video. And it got met with a ton of support, but also a little bit of hate as well. Now, obviously, he goes through, pretty much the same points, going through the FAQ, stuff like that, and also, where they get their information from. And honestly, it's a great video. I really, really like it. And Saintontas does a ton of really, really cool stuff for the community. And, if you've been on my second channel, I react to a lot of his videos, He's bringing up some very, very good points here. Now, one content creator in particular called Foxsoul, he actually made a video on this, kind of saying that Saintontas is a liar and that, it's not a scam and stuff like that. Now, I don't think Sensor Tower is a scam. I think that is the wrong way to kind of call it. I do think that it's less of a scam and more of like misleading and misinformation, because I think a scam kind of involves like purchasing something in the first place. But again, if you want to call it a scam for thumbnail purposes, then I think that's totally fine. But obviously Foxsoul comes in and says that it's not a scam and tries to come up with these weird ways in saying that it's not, and pretty much conveying that he doesn't like Saintontas. Now, why am I showing this video? Well, it's because he actually deleted the video where he actually calls out Saintontas, and yeah, so that kind of proves how right he was if the video isn't even up anymore. And in this video, he actually apologizes to Saintontas and also to me, which again, I find absolutely crazy, seeing as I have not made a single video on this or anything like that. Maybe he saw me, type in a chat or something. But again, it is good to see that he's apologizing to us about this, but also the video does come off a little bit weird, a little bit later on where, you say, oh, I'm sorry for this. But then you go on like a 10-minute rant, talking about pretty much the same stuff you were. Again, it doesn't come off as very apologetic whenever you do that. So again, if you're trying to do an apology, I would definitely just leave that out. If you wanted to talk about that more in another video, then maybe do that. But again, it still wouldn't come off as so apologetic. But it seems like he is trying to kind of, fix his ways with the Wuthering Waves community. Now, obviously, there's a lot of people in his community that have come from mine and Saintontas' community, and also so many others who maybe don't like me, or don't like Saintontas, or don't like someone else, which, again, is totally valid. Not everyone is going to click. I don't really care if you like me or not. You can like me if you want. It's not a big deal. And obviously, a lot of people in the comment section and stuff are kind of egging him on to do this because, again, they just dislike us for some reason. And well, obviously, these people are very annoyed by this video because obviously it's an apology to Saintontas and also me. So they're not very happy that he's actually, kind of conceding for once and that their content creator isn't fighting back against us, which again, I think is totally stupid. I do think, it is the right move to apologize and just kind of move on and kind of create, some actual good content for Wuthering Waves rather than attacking some other content creators for absolutely no reason, because again, I don't think that was a big reason behind this all. I think that Saintontas was definitely pointing out some really big issues going on with the community and just the overall, Sensor Tower report, which again was something that I even thought was a big problem and covered myself. And I think that just calling him out and saying that he's, incorrect and that he's like the worst human on earth for doing so, I just don't think that's very good and very good for the community either, especially if you're trying to get into it. Obviously, you can disagree with him and be like, okay, let's just talk about this logically and go through it, but he does seem a bit heated, especially if you go to his live stream as well, where he actually covered this. V actually went through it on his stream. I don't know if you upload a video, but again, Foxsoul has taken down that live stream. He was heated for most of it, kind of talking about Saintontas specifically, saying, oh, I hate him, he's spreading all this stuff, he's horrible, and he's pretty much going after him non-stop, which is absolutely insane. So I don't know how Saintontas is going to reply to this, if he does at all, because it seems like he's not very interested in this at all. But again, I do think this is a very, very funny situation, and it was just something that I just wanted to talk about in the Wuthering Waves community that was going on to keep you guys kind of updated. But yeah, overall, I do think the revenue report is, misleading a lot of people whenever it comes to these estimates and stuff. But I don't think it's the end of the world or anything like that. I do think that it's still a kind of fun thing for people to engage in. And people should just, stop attacking other people in the community just for having, a little bit of information about a Gacha Revenue chart, which, again, is completely valid and real. So So yeah, let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this. Do you think that this situation is just getting stupid and out of hand? And do you think that the Sensor Tower report is a scam or, you know, misleading or anything? Or do you think that it's actually not so bad? Because again, I do think it is misleading. But again, I don't think you need to be making a live stream and 2 million videos about defending it or something like that against Saintontas, because again, no one really cares. It's not the end of the world. Just move on and just create other Wuthering Waves content. It's really not that hard. But again, if you guys did enjoy this video, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. As I said, go to my Twitch. I'm going to be live there very, very soon. Sorry, I'm a little bit ill at the moment, so if I do sound a little bit different, that's just because I am getting over it. I do feel a lot better now. It's just like my nose is so messed up, so I do sound different. But yeah, definitely go over there, give me a follow, and that'll be down in the pinned comment down below. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.